Welcome back to Lobotomy Corporation. I am Grillmastah, and today we have the Mountain of Smiling Bodies. The Mountain of Smiling Bodies appears to be a mass of dead bodies that is living. The armor and weapon of the Mountain of Smiling Bodies is here on myself. The armor and weapon both are Aleph, and they are very, very strong. Ideally, you don't want to send anybody in who has low stats. You want 5s or 4s at least. If you send somebody in with 5, instinct is high, insight is low, repression is high, and attachment is low. The Mountain of Smiling Bodies is looking for the smell of the body with many smiles. The Mountain of Smiling Bodies waits for the smell of blood coming soon, keeping all laughs to those who cannot be seen. This abnormality is a very finicky abnormality, like Army of Black or Big Bird. When employees die in your facility, the wealth counter will decrease, so as clerks or your people are killed by any of the random events that happen. When 10 people are killed, it decreases by 1. When 20 people are killed, it does escape. One solution to this, to prevent it from escaping, is just to eliminate your little clerks as you go throughout the day. Just keep taking care of them, and you don't have to worry about the clerks dying and it escaping. Another solution that is very, very useful is using the actual armor itself for cleaning up any bodies of clerks or anybody who has died along the process. Just simply send the person with the armor in to wherever there is a body, and they will walk back and forth, and they will pick up the body, healing themselves in the process. Once 10 people in your facility die, the wealth counter will reduce, and Mountain of Smiling Bodies will start to run. When Mountain of Smiling Bodies escapes, it will run through the halls and proceed to kill people. As it kills them, it will eat their body. The more bodies that it eats, it will start to transform. Once it eats 2 bodies, it will grow a second head, and it will start to scream. Once it eats 3 bodies, it will proceed to do immense amounts of damage. Mountain of Smiling Bodies is weak to red at 1.2, endured to black at 0.8, endured to white at 0.8, and endured to pale at 0.5. A very useful armor for dealing with Mountain of Smiling Bodies, and I definitely would suggest before trying to deal with it. One is the Apocalypse Bird armor. Apocalypse Bird armor is pretty good and useful against it. It will do a good amount of damage, and you won't take that much. You do still have to watch for the amount of damage that you do take. Using purple shields will definitely help. Another good armor that is very, very helpful in dealing with it is the red armor. The red armor, given that you continuously heal yourself, you just have to watch for giving them their mind back. And given that it is weak to red, it does help a lot on that too. Again, it just comes down to make sure that you watch their mind doesn't go too low, because that will be the one thing that you have to really worry about. Black shields, again, help quite a bit. Or, apparently, you have to watch a lot closer than I did. Once it gets to this form, you're pretty much already in trouble. A super helpful tactic for dealing with this thing is anytime you do have a body laying around, make sure to use your character with its weapon to pick up any of the bodies around. But, like I said, when it gets to this point, it is very difficult to contain. At this point, I more often than not just retry. The Mountain of Smiling Bodies story. This place is always like this, but just like any day, an accident of mass casualties occurred here. The reason was the same as always. Someone escaped, and attempting to stop that escape brought on another escape, and luckily the department was sealed off before it could get any worse, and everyone died in the same place. It became a mountain of bodies, literally. This was something no one wanted to clean up. Normally, it would have been taken care of within the day, but due to the horrific nature of the accident, the cleanup was delayed with authorization from the department's sheriff. Don't ask me which department it was. I don't remember all the details. Bodies left out in the open will begin to rot within a few hours. Most of the bodies were maimed one or another, so they rotted even faster. I guess you don't know it yet, but most of the employees here are very good at cleaning up dead bodies. Cleaning up over and over will make anyone an expert, even if you don't want to be. Let's say someone you were just talking to about what to have for dinner died in a horrific manner. Now, rather than running away and vomiting, all that repeated experiences will help you clean up instead. Well, the mountain should have been removed quickly, but it remained in the department for a long time. Nature had its way of rotting, melting, and corroding everything. That's how it began, from the mountain of the bodies. Amazing, huh? I got something else to tell you. The dead fused with one another, and they were all smiling. They shared body parts, at least those that were still intact, and became each other's legs and mouths. But that didn't mean they'd regain their consciousness. They had only one thing on their mind: flesh. When there's an announcement of someone's death, you must check to see if this thing has been quarantined. Once it gets a whiff of the scent of death, it will move quickly towards the smell. The smiling faces are strange and yet sorrowful. The more bodies it has, the more defined its shape becomes, and it is never satisfied. I am telling you all this because we're almost there. Accidents keep happening here. Some may take a moment of silence when a death occurs, but most would say again and turn their backs. There's one thing we did well, though, and that's quarantining the department. You see, I'm the only one left. Did you learn anything from this story? What kind of lesson can be learned from a story as horrible as this, you ask? It's similar to most fairy tales. The lesson is, don't be lazy. When my voice stops, after exactly 3 minutes, come here and get rid of your colleagues. I probably won't be able to talk soon. I'm about to swallow a large bomb. Time's running out. Blood is flowing all around here. I see all the smiling faces now. Something you don't see much around here. Don't be surprised when you hear a loud explosion. Like I said, in precisely 3 minutes. I'm sure a bomb this size will be able to suppress it. Last body to fall will be mine. Management Tip 1. When Hannah was working inside died, wealth counter reduced. Management Tip 2. When a wounded employee entered the containment unit, wealth counter reduced. Management Tip 3. When the work result was bad, the amount of smiling bodies, wealth counter was reduced. Management Tip 4. When 10 or more employees die inside the facility, the wealth counter will be decreased. However, it did not recognize the death of employees who were disposed of as execution bullets. Management Tip 5. When escaping, the amount of smiling bodies is seen to be sensitive to corpses. When suppressing it, recommended to make sure no one dies because of the amount of smiling bodies. If casualties do happen, try to keep the amount of smiling bodies away from the dead. And that's what I mean by using the actual armor, because the armor will it doesn't pick up the bodies. The armor actually consumes the bodies and gives the health to the person wearing it. Management Tip 6. If the amount of smiling body suppression was not completed on the previous level, you must be very careful to prevent any death inside the section where the amount of smiling bodies is located. Management Tip 7. When other entities spawn from the mountain of smiling body's main body after escaping, simply reducing its HP to 0 did not completely suppress it. The amount of smiling bodies will only be suppressed by attacking the main body after continuously reducing its HP and removing all other spawned entities. So that's the pieces. The more it eats, the more it pops out more heads. So as long as you can keep it away from bodies, the one form is pretty simple to take care of. The second form, as long as you use your bullets right, you can take care of it pretty well. The third form is the part where my best suggestion is honestly to restart. Instinct is 1 through 3 very low, common on 4 and 5. Insight is very low on everything. Attachment is very low on everything. Repression is very low on 1, 2, and 3, and common on 4 and 5. So instinct and repression are the best, and like I said, you don't want to send anybody in that's not 4 or 5. And you want to try to at least have WA armor on. The weapon is black damage, is fast, and is medium, and it does do an extreme amount of damage. The armor does pick up bodies and give you health, and does red 0.5, white 0.5, black 0.2, and pale at 1. The gift is HP plus 5, SP plus 5, and it says 2% chance. I feel like it's a lot more because I got this rather frequently. Wealth counter is only 2, so it does escape, pretty commonly if you aren't watching how many people are dying. Like I said, execution bullets are by far the best method to contain it if you know that there is likelihood of clerks dying. It is weak to red at 1.2, endured to black at 0.8, endured to white at 0.8, and endured to pale at 0.5. And that has been the Mountain of Smiling Bodies.